Oh, hey, Brenda.
Denise?
Or I should say Director Donald. I
No, you should
apologize for
say Brenda.
that. Yeah, thank you. I know that you have a very, very short time frame, but I thought it was extremely important to get you on today because, I mean, this news that is still developing about a mother, whose baby we're all looking for right now, and then we learned the other day about another baby that was found in a trash can near a hospital center. A lot of us, have visions of things that have happened in the past when there was help for families like that. So that's why I wanted you to come on to just talk about what Child and Family Services can do for mothers in distress.
Yeah, thank you so much, Denise, and really appreciate the opportunity to share. There are resources. So, first, the good news is that this hardly ever happens. It is very, very rare, thankfully, even though any child death is really hard, and we take that very, very seriously, and particularly if it's preventable, right? And so the two recent situations are very, very different. And they both are still being investigated. So we don't know the root cause and exactly what happened in either situation. But there are so many resources. So one is when families, when a parent, a young mom, or not necessarily a young mom, a mom may be struggling with whatever issues that make them feel as though they can't, successfully raise a baby. And, sometimes it's a panic situation. There are all sorts of things that are underlying. But we do have a safe haven law in the District of Columbia since 2010, which means that a mother can surrender a newborn baby up to 14 days old, 2 weeks old, to the hospital with no questions asked, no questions, no punishment, can just surrender the baby. The baby will be, there's several different options. And it's only happened, I think, 5 times in the 20 years that I've been involved with,
Wow.
10 years even, that the law has been up. And in a couple of those situations, the parents decided, or the mothers decided that they made a mistake and they really wanted to be able to take care of their kids. And then we connect them to resources and make sure that they are able to care for the kids. In the other two situations, the babies were surrendered and they were adopted. We have families who are always waiting to adopt the children. So I see you've pulled up our website. People can go on to that, but you don't even really have to ask any questions. You can go to any hospital and
Okay.
just the baby will be there, and it's called the Safe Haven. But also we have all sorts of resources, mental health services, because a lot of times families are really struggling with a lot of issues. And, particularly in the last 14, 15 months with COVID, families have had to deal with all sorts of issues, their own health, unemployment issues, multiple children at home, a lot of stressors on top of what just may be the normal stressors, and can feel overwhelmed. And so there we have mental health services. We have home visiting programs that help you become a parent, because there are no the manuals for
And we
becoming
know.
a parent, right? That we've all had to learn. But
Right.
so we have home visiting programs where we have slots available. And they're in communities where families live, or they come to you. So we have
Mm.
some that are community based. We've got parenting programs through our neighborhood collaboratives, and some that are kind of peer groups, so that parents can share and be part of a community that supports them. We also promote back to sleep. So we know that it's safer for babies to sleep on their backs. We've learned that over the years. And we have cribs available for free. We have, or pack and plays that are, the portable cribs. They're available for free. We'll have a nurse come out and, talk to you about, you know, the dangers of co-sleeping and, the appropriate way to care for your kids without putting them at risk. So there are many, many resources available to young parents who may be struggling and may feel overwhelmed.
So how would a mother or father, expectant mother or father, tap into those resources? I mean, hopefully, they're getting, the prenatal visits and all that, but, if they need help, does the doctor tell them where do they find out about these
Yeah.
resources?
It's a great question because the more we try to publicize and make this information available in multiple places, but you have to reinforce it. Um, we do have some relationships with the with pediatricians and with healthcare providers, OBGYNs. I think we're going to go out and do some more outreach and reinforce the information throughout the various healthcare providers. But also, we've got community-based resources. We've got our Healthy Families Thriving Communities collaboratives that are in wards 7, 8, 4, and 1 and 5. We have family success centers that we just stood up in the last year that are in Ward 7 and 8 that are in neighborhoods. And then there are community health centers as well. So there are places where hopefully they're reinforcing this information and the availability of resources. And then for you to feature this on your program and share our website information where we can help to connect families to the different services and supports.
Well, I'm just so glad that you were willing to and able to take some time because, when we listen to these news reports and we hear, some devastating news is happening to our children. And like it's good news to know that it's not a common occurrence. You never know when something's going to, become one. So you want to jump out ahead of it. But it's always so sad when our children are the victims, and especially babies. And so I think it's good to know, that you're there, that Child and Family Services is available. And if someone calls the line, I mean, do they just say, I need help? Is there someone that really talks them through, or is there dial 3 for this or for,
No.
okay.
We have real people who would answer if they're calling our hotline, but also I'm going to just put this plug in and hopefully you'll have us come back a little later to talk about where we're installing or we're testing out a warm line, which is really more that we hope will be more community based, that where people can just call for whatever reason, because I understand people may be reluctant to call our hotline and think, oh my gosh, I'm going to be in trouble, even though if they call, we'll walk them through and connect them to our partner resources. But we're exploring establishing these warm lines within our community organizations, because one thing we say in DC, we have so many resources, but sometimes people don't know how to access them,
Yes.
or we make it difficult. So that's why we're trying to push more things down into the communities closer to where families are, and so that we share that information. And we do have some materials, and we'll provide those more at our family success centers. Of course, now that people are starting to come out of pandemic and they'll moving out of the virtual worlds into more environments where that information is available and can be reinforced.
I know you have to go, so I won't hold you much longer. I'm just going to ask one more question, and that is for any community organizations that are watching this and they want, to be sort of a member of the Army. They want information that they can share with their constituents. Is that available to them? And also, is there a need for volunteers?
Yes to both. And we can come out and share information. We can provide the materials if we have, materials on hand, or provide links for other organizations to share that information. But we can also do training. And certainly, we only see families or hear of something usually after something has happened.
Right.
And so we do want the armies of people who are in the communities who know their neighbors and can see if someone is struggling. And often they may be afraid to say, oh my goodness, I don't want to call because something bad's going to happen. If if we can communicate anything today, is that we are here to help, and our goal is to help families, and there are multiple partners and resources available. So if you see something, say something. The response is going to be a helping hand, first of all. And that's our goal, to really help families and to make sure the kids are safe.
All right, Brenda, thank you so much.
Thank you
Director
so much.
Donald, thank you so much for joining us today. And yeah, we will get you back on so we can talk about those soft lines,
Great.
helplines, and anything else that you all have to share. We just want to make sure we do our part to keep the community informed.
Great.
So thanks for
Thank you so
being
much.
with
Good
us.
to see you. Bye.
Likewise. All righty.